when Ye when Ye was out here and he said that slavery is a choice, everybody for the most part in the media, they played him crazy. They thought he was tweaking. Slavery is a choice. How many people today you see they comfortable playing the blame game, the finger point game? They comfortable playing that role. They'll play that role all day. But on the flip side of them having that mentality, it'd be like, instead of evaluating what they actually saying as far as being a victim, they comfortable playing the blame game. They comfortable pointing their finger. You know what they're not comfortable about though? A lot of people are not comfortable with self-evaluation. A lot of people not comfortable saying, I need to look at what's going on in my life and see what I can control. Not what somebody else is doing, but what I can control. Self-evaluation, self-realization, that's a real difficult thing for a lot of people to do, to come to grips with. Because if they got to come to grips with that, reevaluating themselves, that's the thing. A lot of people ain't comfortable evaluating themselves. How they do, how they behave, how they act, how they talk, how they think. That's right there. That's where the dominoes, they fall down right there. But you know how people will be like, they real quick to tell you about anybody else. They real quick to tell you about what so-and-so and them doing. They'll tell you about them. But if you ask them, well, what did you do? What role did you play in this situation? Then they get quiet. They don't want to say nothing because then they gotta analyze, they gotta psychoanalyze themselves. That's real difficult to do for a lot of people who are in the mentality of mental slavery. You know, I say mental slavery. They was looking at Ye crazy. They looked at Cat Williams crazy. They looked at Noble Drew Ali like he didn't know what he was talking about in the 1920s. They look at people who say these statements like we the ones that's tweaking. But if you just looked at society and you say people are comfortable being in a place that they in as far as trauma. Now, trauma ain't good, but you can learn from trauma. Trauma ain't always something that you can't learn something from and take something up out of that. It's the choice that people make. People make choices. Slavery is a choice. Nobody walking around out here as a chained up slave. Yet they got movies about slavery. You ain't never seen no slave boats. They still making movies about slavery. But the facts don't line up with the narrative that they keep on portraying. But people still go to the movies. You just went out there to go see Color Purple. You ain't seen no slave in your life chained up, picking cotton on the cotton field. But you still take your ass to go pay to see a story that was created about slavery of your own people. And then say, I ain't no slave. Well then, why would you spend however much it costs to go to the show? You gonna buy a ticket, go to the show, and then go pay to see something that ain't even happened in real life, like they portray it in Hollywood. It's wild out here, man. It's wild out here. Because I look at it like this on the flip side of that. I look at it like, if people ain't have nothing to blame as far as a victim, like the finger pointing thing, then what would they have to do? That part. Without having that other side of the blame game, what would you have to do? You gotta go inside self and evaluate. What am I doing? What do I want to do in this world? What kind of path, progress, what am I out here doing? You see? That whole victim mentality, that is the part of the system. That's a part of the system. You want to be in a victim mindset, but nobody's really doing it. If we just slow things down and just thought about it, nobody's out here that got chains on us, got whips on us. Nobody's out here physically doing that. See, this is why psychological warfare is so powerful, because it's mental. you not actually physically getting chained up, but you getting yourself in situations where psychologically you feel like you're being chained up. This is why Noble Duality was expressing in the literature, breaking the mental slavery. See, it's psychological. It's not always going to be a physical trauma. It's not always going to be a physical dilemma. It's going to be psychological. And that's how the dark forces out here using. You know what's interesting though? If you let go of the blame game and you stop looking, like I'm talking about we as a people. If we start letting go of the blame game and start looking at problems and start looking at solutions, critically thinking, what's the problem? Let's identify some solutions to fix these problems. If I got a problem with my plumbing in my house, I'm not going to call a mechanic. If I got a problem with my car, I'm not going to call him a plumber. You see, we got problems in subjects like law. What do? We go to people and that narrative is, you got problems with justice. Okay. Go over there and ask the plumber what the remedy is for your situation. Or go over there, ask the electrician for something that got something to do with a subject like law. That's what we get sidetracked. We get lost at. Right there. The problem is with us, a lack of knowledge in law. Justice. We looking for these remedies, but we keep blaming the system. You ask somebody, what is the system? What's the system? The system is set up so the black man and the black woman, they always gonna get the shit in. That's indoctrination. That's the blame game. That's the finger pointing game. Keep blaming something that you never really took time and sat down and was like, let me analyze what is the law? What is justice? Let me look at it myself. Matter of fact, I'm finna just invest in the literature, the books, my damn self. So I ain't got to go outside and ask nobody. I'm going to do it for self. I, self, law, am master. That's more science. The answers that we've been looking outside ourselves for is really right here. They inside. They ain't outside. They inside. The answers that we looking for is inside. They not outside. So I was looking at this video a little while ago about addiction, right? It was just Hybrid European on there. He was talking about how people can be very addicted to their phones. And it's interesting though, because if you gotta go from room to room with your phone, you probably got a problem. You probably addicted to your phone. And I'm looking at it like, that's wild, because everything nowadays is wired through the phone. So you gotta have a UPC code. You gotta have some kind of code to scan the app to get into the gym. You gotta have some kind of phone device to get your Cash Apps, your Zelles. So the system, the financial grid that's crumbling apart right now, they have it wired up. So we have to use devices for pretty much a lot of things, right? Now you looking at the phone. The phone is giving off addictive tendencies, but is it the phone or is it the person that uses the phone that downloads the apps? You see? And people will be like, man, I'm addicted to my phone. Why are you addicted to your phone? That's what the apps is for. All the apps that be like, yeah, there's free apps. The free apps are for addiction purposes. That's what they free for. And the whole time, once you download them, it's a contract inside that app. If you look at the terms and the conditions, it's a contract that's up in there that's like, if you download this app as a third party, we can analyze all the data that's in your phones. If you look at the terms and the conditions, they up in there. So you download an app for addictive purposes, unbeknownst to you, then that app got access to your phone. giving you more information. Right. The algorithm. See? And this part about the video that he was saying as far as how addictive the telephone can be. And I looked at that and I said, all right, the addiction for sure can come from the apps in the phone. Having the access to the whole, we got access to the whole world. To the whole world. You have access to the whole world in your phone. That device, it could be a great networking tool, or it could be destructive. Because it's so accessible. You just put something in your phone, you don't realize that putting that information in your phone, you actually are accessing the entire world. Or vice versa, the entire world can access you. It's strange because it's like people are addicted to these different things, and they'll point their finger at somebody else outside of them, and they the ones that download the shit that's in their phones. Nah, the phone got you addicted. You to download the apps in your phone, they got you addicted. Now what's happening? Time is starting to tick, 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 tick. And before you know it, you done spent 3 hours on Facebook. You done spent 2 or 3 hours on Instagram. Gone. You know the average, if you Google it right now, look at the average time that a person spends on their phone. On Facebook, Twitter, IG. Just look at time spent on the average. How much time people spend on their phone, on apps, or YouTube. You got people that spend hours a day just living their life vicariously through apps. You got people that put on filters on their face just to look like somebody else's face on their face. Shit is crazy. And what's happening? Outside in the real world, you got all these things going on in real life. People can, look, you ever been out like at dinner? You ever went out to dinner or something like that, went out to eat? Or you went out to you just went out to go get some food. Now you go in there, everybody in the place damn near is on their phone like this. I remember it was a time I used to catch the train on 95th. I used to catch the 108 bus on Halsted, Chicago. Catch the 108 bus on Halsted, 122nd. Go over there, take the bus, drive on the bus all the way down to 95th. See, cell phones and all that, you got to be alert when you outside. You riding the L train in Chicago, you riding the bus, the train, I don't care where you at outside. You outside, you got to be alert at all times. You got people that be on the phone. I'm talking about not even a little bit. They on the phone like they inside their house or something. And then you like, man, what happened to fam, Joe? Man, Joe got hit. He got robbed. What was he doing? On his phone. She was on her phone. On your phone outside, that's the addiction though. See, the addiction is strong. People will be on their phone outside like they inside their house or like they in their car or something. You outside in the streets. Anything can happen. Anything. I don't care if you in the rack. I don't care where you at. Wherever you at. If you outside, anything can happen. Protect yourself at all times. But the phone is so the phone can be so addicting that you might get outside and you might be like, shit, you poured in to the apps. So the apps got you. The app got you. See? And the makers of these phones, they know what they're doing. Y'all ever seen the makers of these phones? Y'all ever seen the workforce that it takes to construct these phones? How they be treating the children over there in the Congo? How they make these phones? Shit is wild, G. How they construct these phones? The batteries, the lithium and all that. How they get the cobalt and all these minerals. How they make these phones. That's a whole other story. Steve Jobs and all that shit, how they make these phones. I don't care if you got a Droid or you got an Apple. I don't care what kind of phone you got. It don't matter. How they construct these phones, that's slavery. On everything, that shit is slavery. They're physically locked in slavery over there. And it's happening right now. See, this is the wild part. This is about how in this age of Aquarius, we got access to all this information. But if we stay distracted inside the black mirror, you're not going to see the rest of the world. You just going to be in the black mirror. But ain't it wild? People be addicted to the black mirror, but they are not addicted to looking in the regular mirror, evaluating themselves. That part. People is addicted to looking in the black mirror, that phone, but they don't want to look in a regular mirror at their own flaws, at their own shortcomings. But they'll tell you about somebody else shit. They'll tell you about somebody else shortcomings. They'll tell you about somebody else flaws and what they ain't on. But that black mirror, that phone, that black mirror. Y'all watch that TV show Black Mirror? There's a show on Black Mirror. I think it's like last season. There's a show on there, right? Where this chick, she was living in a world sometime like the near future type demo. So she in this world, the near future, and maybe you seen it, maybe you ain't seen it. So you seen that show? So in that world, they operated off the Black Mirror social credit system, slavery. But the slavery didn't involve chains, though. It involved a social credit system. So case in point, right? If you ain't seen it, I got to give you a spoiler alert. If you ain't seen it, just a spoiler alert. I'm going to just tell you a little something. In this world, though, everything evolved off the phone. And if I didn't like you, say me and y'all, like one of y'all, right? Like I see one of y'all outside. And you say you recognize me, but I don't know you. And you having your phone, like you'll come up to me and you will say something. Now, depending on how our interaction was, you could deduct the social credit point off my life. Not my account, like a regular little account on social media. No, this is a life account. Way stronger than just an account on like your little IG or your little Twitter, Facebook account. Nah, we talking about a real life account. So your life, everybody's life was connected to a social credit system. They have this social credit system right now over there in China. They have this social credit system already installed. But see, if we just stay focused on victimization, the blame game, if we stay in a traumatic mindset where we always feel like we on the brink of disaster and never take time out for self-evaluation, self-reflection, self-determination, if we never take time out to push time out, pause, and say, all right, let me reevaluate what I've been doing. Let me reevaluate what I've been talking like. Let me reevaluate what I take in my system, in my own personal system. Let me reevaluate what I've been doing. Don't really have time for that, or do we? You see, we got 24 hours in a day. But if you get caught up in that black mirror, you get pulled in. That's a system of slavery. Do something like this. Put your phone down. Don't take like some people so addicted, they got to carry their phone on them all the time. Even when they in their own house, apartment. If you got to carry your phone around all the time in your own house, you addicted. You addicted. And it can be addicting, though. I ain't gonna lie and say it can't be addicting, because this shit can be addicting, though. Because you might be, you know what I'm saying, depending on what you own, you might have your phone on you. But can you put your phone down, though? That part. Can you put your phone down, leave it there, without the temptation when you at dinner. That part. Do you got to eat your food at the dinner table with your phone in your hand? Do you? Can you put your phone down to go do something else? Like when you with your babies, your children, do you got to have your phone in your hand? Do you got to check your phone every 5 seconds? That's an addict. See? You see how it's psychological? It's not always going to be a physical whip or a physical chain that's attached to us. But that's why when Ye said slavery is a choice, everything is a choice that we do or don't do. Everything has a positive or negative effect. The law of causation, the principle of cause and effect, they operate all the time. So in this world that we in right now, we have the ability of God, generator, operator, and destroyer. We can do what we want to do. This is why we're all gods. We're not the God, but we are gods. Lowercase Gods. We are not the creator Allah, but we have the ability to manifest life with our words, or the ability to destroy physically and verbally with our words. This is why we're lowercase Gods. We're not Allah, but we are made in the image and likeliness. Image and likeliness. Not the creator Allah, but the image and the likeliness. We have the abilities to be builders and destroyers. This is why in the scripture, y'all Bible thumpers and you Bible readers, read your scripture. It tells us that ye are all gods. It's in the Bible. But the pastor, they ain't gonna pastor pork chop and sister catfish. They ain't gonna tell you that. That's why we gotta do it ourselves. We gotta each one teach one. Go into self, go into the lab, sit there, think about it, and say, are my thoughts really affecting my actions? Because my thoughts are the first thing that go in my head. So in order for me to do it, I gotta think it. And in order for me to say it, I gotta think it. Thoughts, words, actions. It's a trinity. And for some people, they so caught in that victimization mentality. They thinking as a victim before action even happened. They already thinking like a victim. That they like, man, whatever. It's just they gonna speak negativity in their life, and ain't nothing even happened yet. They just, you know what they say? Thinking is half the battle. Thinking is half the battle. To be prepared, that's half the battle. If you thinking like a Vic, you already gonna lose the battle. Before you even get on the battlefield, you already lost. That's the power of thoughts. If you think like a victor, not victim, then you susceptible to be on the up and up. But if you thinking like a victim and not a victor, you already lost. Because your mind ain't prepared for which direction it could go. It could go positive, it could go negative, quick, sometimes slow. But if you on a victor mentality, that means even if I lose, I'm still gonna win because I'm gonna learn something from this L I just took. I'm gonna learn something. I'm not just gonna be like, fuck it, I lost. Oh well, hold my head down. Woe is me. That's the victim mentality. Oh man, I gotta do this. You already lost. Because do you gotta do it or you not? Do you know that you gotta do that? Or did somebody tell you that you gotta do that? That part. So when you're talking about justice, do you know law enough to enforce law and receive justice? Or you just got ideas and you got somebody told you? You got hearsay. You ain't got, you know. You got hearsay. You don't, do you know, like, is it concrete? Do you know it? Do you know enough to get out of your situation like you know your timetables? That part right there. And that's where it be with our people. Because our people will be like, well, I got different ideas. I got different schools of thought that I didn't, over the years that I didn't, interacted with. I got some of this. I got some of that. No. Do you know law enough to defend yourself like your timetables, your addition tables, your division tables, your subtraction tables? Do you know enough to know it like that? Because that's where it's at in 24 and beyond. It's going to be the ones that know and enforce, and it's going to be the ones who pretended, and now they can't pretend no more. That shit dead. That's what 24 and beyond is finna be all about. The ones that know and the ones who pretended that they knew, and now they getting called out. That's what it is. If you believe, you don't know. You can't know and believe at the same time. You either know or you don't know. If you a believer, that's just the first degree. The second degree is having the faith in it. The third degree is to know. That's to do. When you go in the water, you swim in the water, say you jump off the edge and you swimming in the water. You're not swimming in the water thinking and believing that you know what you're doing. Hopefully you know how to swim. You ain't just gonna jump your ass up in the water and drown. See, that's somebody that believes. Oh, I think I know how to swim. All right, well, jump your goof ass in that water then, and we gonna find out. See, it's that part. So you got to make it real. So when situations pop up, do you know how to handle yourself, or do you believe you know how to handle yourself? You see? You see, people could look in that Black Mirror, they could point out all the flaws in somebody else. When you say, all right, tell me something about you, then they start freezing up. They start locking up because they can't really expand on themselves. See? But people so used to just talking about other people, they don't know how to really psychoanalyze themselves and be like, all right, well, this is about me. This is who I am. Who are you? This is who I am. Moorish American national. This is who I am. See, when you say, all right, well, who are you? Who made you? Okay? Those type questions. Actually, questions that have an internal answer. The answer ain't from outside about accolades that you done got, cars and material that you got. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Somebody asks you, who are you? What are your standards? What are your principles? Those are not external. Those things are material. That's not who you are. If material is something that make you, then you don't know yourself yet. It's cool to have the drip. It's cool to have the cars. It's cool to have the boats. That's cool. That's cool on the material side. But if somebody was to take that material away from you, man or woman, who are you then? That's when you unplug. That's the part right there. When you unplug and you say, I don't need certain materials to make me. You know how somebody be like, man, I gotta have Louis, I gotta have Gucci, I gotta have Prada, shit, I gotta have all the crazy drip. I gotta have all the designer drip. I gotta have that. I gotta have that Montclair. I gotta have all that. Yeah. Do you gotta have that? Or do you think that having that actually gives you value? Bing bong. Do you gotta have that? Or do you think by having that gives you some kind of leverage on somebody else? And that's the thing with our people. It's a video out there you should watch. It was a while ago. It was about how once you selling products, selling merch to the so-called Negro, they got a whole system about selling to the so-called Negro. Slavery. It's psychological. Keep that in mind. It's psychological. They got a whole playbook about selling to the so-called Negro, African American people. YouTube it. It's on YouTube. Selling to the Negro. It's on YouTube. Fam, it's so wild because the whole playbook is on some, make the so-called black man, black woman, make them think that they can't afford it. Now think about when you go to the store and the salesman or the sales clerk, or they come up and they try to, circle around a couple times. Do you need some help? And they'll give you that. They might not even say, can you afford it? They might give you that look and give you that energy like, man, you can't afford that. Why you even looking at that? Put that down. You seen the price tag on there? You can't afford that coat. You can't afford that. That's psychological. Now, always keep in mind, though, it's always mind over matter. But see, these people, they study psychology, dark psychology too. Because psychology got two sides, like everything in life. You got positive psychology, you got negative psychology. Just like you got what they say, you got positive knowledge and negative knowledge, but it's not even positive or negative. It's already neutral. People can choose to use it for the positive or choose to use it for the negative. Everything has a dual purpose in life. Everything. You are the God. You choose to build it up or you choose to destroy with the knowledge. Everything got two sides. The principle of duality. Pick up the book, The Kabbalion. Pick up that book. Dive into that. Start dealing with the mentalism of the mind, the self. All the answers that we be looking for, like our people ain't out here getting this justice. Why not? Because our people don't study law. Why not? The phone got them distracted. The TV got them distracted. They trauma got them distracted. They problems got them distracted. And if you think about it, what problems? Everything got an answer. So what problems? What's really keeping our people high in the position that we own? We put our value in the materials. We put our value in caring about what other people think. We put our values into, if we don't have it right now, it's over with. Like we put this like clock on ourselves. Like if we ain't got it right now, then it's over with. I ain't gonna never get it. Who said, who put that narrative out there? Oh, the media. They put that narrative out there. This is what they do. They put that the celebrities, they put it out there. The movies put it out there, the magazines, they put it out there. Like if we ain't got, or we ain't where we want to be at right now, then we some kind of a failure. I remember I seen Giannis. Shout out to Giannis. So I seen Giannis do an interview one time. I'm talking about Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks. Shout out to bro. He did an interview one time and he said a reporter had asked him after a game. They had lost in the series. Afiel Islam, or they had lost in the series, right? And the reporter asked him, Cujo Islam, or, and the reporter had asked him, like, man, your season, it's a failure. What do you think about your season? It's a failure. So Giannis, on what he on, he like, failure. So when Michael Jordan, when he lost all those years before he won those 6 rings, what are you saying? His career was a failure? What do you mean it's a failure? So everything that happens, what do you think? Well, my team is a failure? No, he said, no, you win some, you lose some. That's what happens. You win some and you lose some, but you don't never lose, because in that loss, there's always a lesson. In that L, it's always something to learn. Now, if you want to take it from a positive lesson, or you want to stay stuck in victimization, crying about you lost, whining, you know how they be like, they be encouraging, everybody gets a trophy, looking ass. Everybody don't get a trophy. You lost. Now, if you take that, and that's what's a lot of affecting these children. Everybody gets a trophy. Get your ass out of here. If you didn't earn that trophy, you lost. Take your ass to the lab, Go to the diamond, go to the gym, and go work out. That's what you got to do. You got to get better. Go to the weight room, get better. Go back to the drawing board, get your merch up, get your product up, and you going to come back stronger than you was so you can have a better outcome. But see, we rewind this convo back to the beginning. Or we say, people will say that you crazy if you don't think like they think. They think like a victimization. If you stay a victim, you don't look at the other side like, if I stop having this blame game on everybody else and stop acting like it was somebody else's fault and start looking at myself, who else can I blame? Who else can I blame? That part. A lot of people don't want to do that because it's easy. It's comfortable to point your finger and blame somebody else. This is what Tony Montana was talking about the people up in the restaurant. This is what Tony was talking about. It's a lot of Jews in the movie Scarface, fam. A gang of Jews in that shit. You lose some, you win some. You get your ass up, you dust yourself off, you go again harder and stronger so you can get better. That's what it's about. Learning from the experience. But Tony Montana was telling them. He telling them like, man, you need people like me to point your finger at. And there's people out there like sitting in that restaurant, bougie. They got their nose all up in the air for no reason because they got all this designer clothes on. Let me tell y'all something, man. In that whole luxury life, if you ever dug in and did some history on this designer clothing, they got two sets of clothing that they sell to people. The designer makers of these clothes, Tommy Hilfiger, Louis Vuitton, all right, Montclair, all right, Gucci, and all these designer clothing. They got two kinds of clothing that they put out. They put out a clothing for the poor people who want to look rich. The poor people who want to look rich. You want to look rich. Or they got the clothing where the public don't even show the public that. And that's the clothing that ain't got all the designers on it. It don't got all the letters and all that crazy shit. You ever seen somebody? They got all this Louis shit on. They got all this Gucci Prada shit on. They got all this Versace on, right? They don't even realize that those designs actually was stolen off African tribes for generations. The Gucci sign, stolen. The Louis Vuitton sign, stolen. The Versace sign, stolen. From who? From Moorish people all around the world. But see, they don't want to go into that. I don't care about the history. I don't care about none of that. Have you noticed that Bentleys, I ain't never seen a Bentley commercial. I ain't never seen a Lamborghini commercial. I ain't never seen a Ferrari commercial. Now, keep that in mind when you say there's two kinds of luxury. For the people that want to look like they got luxury, they out here buying shit like that from all these designer luxury boutiques. Now, for the ones who got it like that, they could spend a rack for a t-shirt. $25,000 for an outfit. And it's like $25 for them. Them outfits look like some out of Kmart. They look like some out of Walmart. They ain't got all the designer logos and all, cause the ones that really got it like that, that's really luxurious, they wearing some that look basic. They shit look basic. And they the one, if you look at Look at how these so-called celebrities be dressing. You talking about looking at them. Look at what they wearing. I'm talking about the ones that really got it. All right. Jay-Z ass, he used to wear the big crazy chains and all them crazy chains. Look what he dressed like now. You see? Look what Denzel dressed like. They don't be dressing in all that crazy shit. Because people already know that they got it. And see, people was making fun of Ocho Cinco when he was like, man, I don't be buying all that expensive, crazy shit. Why? Because people already know he got it. So what good would it be to spend $85,000, $100,000 on a wristband, a watch, when I could go buy a watch out of Walmart or some low-key little spot, Cage Jeweler or something? I could just go there and spend a little something. It still shine. It still shine. People gonna go by what their perception is. They not gonna go by what they know. They gonna go by what their perception is. I think you got a bag. So what you got on must be worth a bag. That part. Now, if we spent that and we say, all right, we gonna deal with things that are solidified. We're not gonna keep dealing with things like illusions. Right. You said Eminem, he been rocking the same G-Shock watch for years. Because what difference do it make? What difference do it make? You want to look the part or you want to be? It's a difference. In 24 and beyond, we got to stop trying to look the fucking part. Looking the part ain't going to do shit. You going to look like you got the bag, but in reality, you going home to ramen noodles. You going home to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You going home and you making you a sandwich, but you look like a Rolls Royce though. Huh? Right. You got a Range Rover and you stay in the worst hood. Just to be like, I got a Range Rover? Just to be like, I got a Lambo. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. That shit dead in 24 and beyond, fam. Salute to all y'all small business owners. Salute to y'all. Stay on it. Salute to y'all out there. Because that whole little pandemic, they tried to shut down the mom and the pop spots. So stay on it if you're a small business owner. Stay on business. Because they try to shut us down. Right. You say they going home to their children with holes in on God, G. On God. Hey, look, if you out here and you more worried about your material look, the logos, you still a mental slave. Because clothes don't make the man. Clothes don't make the woman. It's you. It ain't the clothes you got on. Yeah, the clothes will get you looked at. But after the clothes, what is your mouthpiece, your conversation, your mindset? That's what's going to keep somebody around. What you talking about? Where you at with it? Mentally first. That's going to keep people interested or just cut your ass off. Like, they look like a gazillion, but they're a fucking bird brain. I'm out. It's your mouthpiece. It ain't just the drip you got on. Cause after the lights go out and all that drip gone, and it's just you not having to talk, what's your health like? Huh? Do you take care of your children? If you looked at that, it'll be like, you got all this bread on. You got all this drip on. But your children out here with bogus ass shoes on. Like, she got a $800 wig on her head. And she complaining about a $40 haircut for her son. You talking about make it make sense. Motherfucker, you got an $800, $500 wig on your head. You got a whole BBL on your body. And you complaining about a $40 haircut? What? Man, you don't get the fuck on. That shit be, that's real life though. Like that ain't even nothing. I'm just saying that is real life. Dudes be having mics on fresh. Complain about trying to cut a deal. Hey, Kush. Hey, I only got ooh. You know what I'm saying? So give me a little play or something. And I look at that like that shit is disrespectful. Because you got all this high price, high fashion designer clothes on with the shoes to match. Pradas, leather. And you trying to get a discount on something that costs something slight. You trying to get that's disrespectful. How is it disrespectful, Kush? Because you the same motherfucker that'll go down there to them expensive luxury stores and you ain't asking them for a discount. Why? How do I know that? Because they ain't giving one. They ain't giving no discount. You think Chanel and Louis Vuitton giving out discounts? You gonna pay full retail for what you want. You trying to get a Terre Hermes belt? Oh, you finna pay for retail. You finna pay, like my cousin just got on here, J Trap, right? Now, if you will get a beat from Timberland or Swiss Beats or who else out here? Metro Boom, whoever you want to name, right? 808 Mafia, whoever you want to name. DJ Premier, The RZA, Havoc, Dr. Dre, whoever you want to name, right? You gonna pay full retail for their beat. Now, if my cousin say, hey, look, he on here right now, J Trap Beats. If my cousin be like, hey, Joe, I need this for this beat. You trying to get a discount though. You see how people be with this victimization? You want to play the victim when it's somebody else who we be thinking ain't at the level where they could be asking for that price. See, it's that part. How you gonna put a price tag on me and what I'm worth? You see? That be what our people be doing. How you gonna cap me? I'm the one that got the merch, but you gonna go downtown. You gonna go to Louis Vuitton. See, you gonna go to Chanel, Prada, Versace. You gonna go and pay full retail price. No questions. No questions you gonna ask them. Oh, you gonna have everything together. You gonna pick it out. You gonna talk courteous. Here you go. Yeah, that'll be it. Right. But let somebody who our people don't be thinking is at the level that they need to be asking those prices. How they gonna try to tell you you're not at that level? Because that's what they're really saying. You're not at that level where I feel you need to be asking for those prices. Because to me, you haven't achieved enough to ask those prices. Get the fuck up out of here. Because you ain't got no problem. Oh, because Louis Vuitton, Versace and them, Bentley, Rolls Royce, they at the level, right? Right. They at the level. To you, they made it to the level. If they made it to the level, and that's your standard, what does that say about people who ain't at the Rolls Royce to your mind level? So they merch ain't on nothing, but you still want their merch though. When you go to the hair store and y'all buying them goddamn bundles, do y'all be asking for discounts for them hair bundles? Huh? Y'all be asking for discounts on hair bundles? Or you gotta pay full retail? But then let somebody else be like, hey Joe, I got a Droid phone. You got a droid for a phone? You see how people be playing these victim blame games and shit, pointing each other, pointing fingers and shit? I got a droid. Nah, you ain't got an Apple. You ain't on shit. Get your goof ass out of here. It's a phone, goofball. What are you talking about? It's a phone. They both get made by the same company. Ooh, right. They both get manufactured in the same place. That's the part that make their head look and make their head blow up. And they face fall and they be looking goofy as hell. They get made in the same place. Genius. You got an iPhone. You got an Apple. You got a Droid. Like that narrative, that shit dead in 24, fam. That shit dead in 24, G. If you still talking about somebody phones in 24, and you trying to put somebody, you trying to cap somebody at where they at, and your view of them because of their phone, fam, you a slave out here. You really a mental slave. You need to reevaluate yourself. If you looking at people in 24 just based off material and not what's up in here, not what they talking about, not what kind of goals and plans that they own, you a slave out here. And slavery is voluntary. Slavery is voluntary. In case you didn't know that. Slavery is voluntary today. Slavery. People will be thinking like how they was thinking Ye was tweaking. When he said slavery is a choice. He wasn't lying. Slavery is a choice to this day. You don't have to choose to say that you're a black person. That's slavery. You say that you're African American. That's slavery. But I get it though. You addicted. But the first step into coping with an addiction is to admit that you first got an addiction. People don't want to do that. They don't want to say, I'm addicted to saying that they're black. They don't want to cope with that. That's a mental illness. You saying that you're black, African American, Indian, that's a slave status. But they don't want to deal with that though. They'd rather point the finger and be like, no, that's your opinion, Kush. That's how you think. That's what you believe. They always run to that believe in how they feel. It's never show me them receipts. And that's what's happening in 24. Hey fam, show me them receipts of what you talking about. That energy right now is happening right now. See, that's the type of energy time that we own right now. People gonna start asking for receipts. That's what it is. So if somebody out here ain't got no receipts, no evidence, you know what they own. You know what time they own. Because they can't show you no receipts. That part. You ain't coming with them receipts, I ain't trusting nothing you talking about. Nothing. That's the type of energy that the age of Aquarius is about. You can't prove what you talking about, I ain't listening to nothing you talking about. On everything. Straight up. And that goes for the people out here talking about that I'm for our people. Yeah, I'm with our people. You ain't got no receipts. Meaning you ain't got no law books that you can show. I ain't talking about you go on Google and you do some screenshots. Fuck all that. If you yourself ain't got no receipts, no documentation, where if you need to show something in real time, you ain't got time to go to Google and get a screenshot. You ain't got time to go to Google and pull up a document. No, sir. Can you show what you talking about? Or can you quote what you talking about verbatim? Or if not verbatim, you can paraphrase so somebody can be like, all right, yeah, I read that before. Yeah, I read that. I know exactly what you talking about. If they ain't on that type time, don't trust nothing they talking about. Use your discernment. Use your integrity in 24. and beyond, because that type time is what it is. Discernment and integrity, principles and standards. Material is not going to be the thing that sustains us no more. It's your standards and your principles. The law, I, self, law, and master. It always begins and it ends with self. That's where it's at. Not victimization, not blaming somebody else. I gotta blame you. You the one that made me. How did I make? Am I in control of you, or are you in control of you? Which one is it? I'm not in. Am I in control of you, or are you in control of yourself? That part. That's what it is right now. That's for men and women, though. That's universal. Men and women, you're going to have to start making some choices. You're going to have to start using your discernment. That means you got to know 100% like you know your timetables. You got to know now. All the doubt and the disbelief and the I believe, I got faith, I think this is it. That ain't it no more. That's not it. And that materialism, getting caught up in materials and you getting caught up in what they got on, that ain't it no more. That is not it no more. That's not the age of Aquarius. That's the Piscean age. Getting wrapped up in perceptions. Getting wrapped up in what it look like. How it feel to me. That ain't it no more. I'm telling you. That's not it no more. That energy is not going to live no more. In 24 and beyond. That energy, I feel that what you said was wrong. That ain't it no more. Prove what you saying. Prove what you about. And it's not even the point of you got to be doing something extra. When you just being yourself, it's going to show and prove itself. You don't got to be doing nothing extra to prove nothing. It's going to just be. You ain't going to try to prove nothing. Because you already in that type vibe. You in that type energy. You in that type vibration. That frequency. You already up in it. So you just being yourself is going to prove itself. That part. You know what I'm saying? So they thought Ye was crazy. They think Cat Williams was crazy right now. They thought Noble Dry Lee was crazy. And he was consistently being himself, dropping out bombs everywhere. And the proof was in itself. It was in the pudding. The proof was in the pudding. Peace. The proof was in the pudding. When you being yourself, you don't got to do nothing extra. Because there's people out here that be extra as hell. You just extra. Because you trying to be seen. Nah. Dave Chappelle, he another one. He was telling a lot of truths. But see, they tell truth in comedy, though. That's their gift. They'll tell the truth in some comedy where you laughing and you thinking like they just cracking jokes and shit, getting down, roasting somebody. But the truth is in the jokes, though. See? The truth is in the joke. Cat Williams out there was talking about the parties in Hollywood. And you start seeing like, damn. He wasn't lying about them jokes at them Hollywood parties and them Hollywood mansions. How they be tucked off in different little rooms. He wasn't lying about that shit. Now we starting to see Weinstein and all these people starting to come out and get exposed. They coming out now. That's what 24 is. That's what it is. So my little message. I just had to get that off the heart, off the chest. I just had to get that off. You feel me? When you being yourself, you're not worried about what somebody else got an opinion about. Because their opinion ain't, that's like, what is that? Your opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Do you know what you talking about? Do you know what you talking about? Or you just got an opinion on what you talking about, how you feel. That part. And it's time to start knowing. All that feeling and it's facts over feelings, man. It's facts over feelings. All right? Don't get wrapped up in the black mirror. If you caught up in the black mirror, which is the phone, the tablet, the laptop, if you got to take the phone and the laptop from room to room, it's a high probability that you're addicted to your phone, to the black mirror. Keep that same energy, though, when you looking in the regular mirror at yourself. Keep that same black mirror energy that when you look in the regular mirror, you got the same energy for that. You say, why haven't you showed us how to correct our status as more legally? Because you said more legally. Okay, I've made video after video about this topic, and I still do it all the time. But you gotta have, you feel me? You gotta have the ears and the eyes to listen, and you gotta do your own due diligence. When you say status, okay? Status in law. You have a free white person, which is a national. You have a naturalized citizen. You have a subject citizen. Then you have an alien. Moorish people have a status of free white person because we are nationals on the land. We're not naturalized. We're not subjects. We're not aliens. We, by birthright, nationality, we have the highest status on the land. That's Moorish nationality and Moorish birthright. That's our blood lineage status. It cannot be changed. Somebody cannot take away your birthright. But you can abandon your birthright. Invest in a Henry Campbell's Black's Law 4th edition dictionary in 24. Invest in it. If you want to buy something other than luxury designer Louis Vuitton, invest in a Henry Campbell Black's Law dictionary 4th edition. Now, get that. Because a lot of these answers on God, a lot of these answers, they literally are right there. They already inside of us. We just need to read it and then see it. Because people learn different ways. Some people can learn hearing something. Verbally, you hear it. And you like, okay, I got it. Some people don't learn like that. And that's cool. So, you said Henry? Yes, Henry Campbell, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Some people learn by writing it. You got people that learn by writing. You got people that learn with a combination. They got to write it. They got to hear it. They got to see it. And then you got other people who have to physically do it. That's how they get it. But it's all different variations and combinations of how someone chooses or how they learn. It's nothing wrong with learning different ways. That's fine. Learn different ways. The point is just fucking learn it. That's the point. Just learn it. When you learn it, you can't be unlearned because can't nobody put some on your brain to pull the information out. It's in there. I ain't gonna say that because nowadays you got sci-fi shit going on. They talking about putting chips in people's heads and extracting shit, neural links and all that. Shit. All that. But whole time though, Moorish Americans, Moors, we are the nationals, free white person status on the land. There is nothing higher than our status as nationals. We are not subjects. But see, when you say a subject, that means you're saying you're black, you're an Indian, Hebrew, Native American. That is a subject. That's not a national. This is we talking about the system. Classifications of citizenship. This is why Noble Duality the Prophet, he told us, just being born here don't make you a citizen. You see? Study, study, study. We born in the Americas, but we're not United States citizens. We are Moorish American nationals who are from Al-Maghrib Al-Aqsa, the most extreme west. That's what we are. All right? You talking about the birth certificate. That's another system that you do not want to get involved with. The birth certificate, look, I'm going to just say it right here. Short and to the point. Short and sweet to the point. Anything from the U.S. corporation is slavery. Okay? Anything attached to the U.S. corporation, whether it's the Uniform Commercial Codes, whether it's the United States codes, whether it's birth certificates, licenses, documentation from them, they are a fraudulent, they are a private for-profit corporation for human trafficking. Anything attached to that is a fraud. Any and everything that's attached from that is fraud. And fraud has no statute of limitation. So again, when we say slavery is voluntary, if you voluntarily put yourself in that system or systems, you're voluntarily abandoning your birthright, your nationality, your status as a subject, 14th Amendment, private citizen that belongs to the U.S. corporation. You're a voluntary slave. Whether you know that or not, and it doesn't matter. It does not excuse anyone if they don't know that or not. Anything attached to the U.S. corporation that's so-called taxes, IRS, driver licenses, birth certificates, all etc., marriage licenses, anything attached to the U.S. corporation is fraud. Now, if you go into that world, then you volunteering. See? Now, when people say, how can we opt out of that? Declare your nationality. That starts with you saying what you are. Because when you say you more, you automatically saying what you not. You saying you more. So when you say you more, you automatically saying what you're not. You can never be once you say you are. Once you say you more, that's letting anybody know who you not. They gonna know when you say you more, they gonna know automatically you saying you're not associated with color of law, people of color. You see, when you say what you is, you automatically saying what you ain't. So when you say you more, you putting it on the public record. The public record doesn't just deal with just paperwork. The public record is the Akashic records. That's the real public record. Now, on this planet, you say, all right, you could go to Cook County or whatever county that you domicile in. You can go file and you could put your free national name on the county record. Yeah, you could do that. Do you have to do that? No, you don't have to do that. You could, but it's not a requirement. You don't have to. You have free, unalienable rights that you can exercise at any time. But get out of the victimization. That mentality must die. That has to die. Nationality and birthrights. That's the two things that our people don't get taught, because you got so many sellouts who keep up that victimization narrative. Like Color Purple, we were slaves, massa. They ain't never proven no slave boats. They ain't never proven the whole slave trade. They ain't proved nothing. But you got our own people who choose to be volunteer slaves in movies. You see how backwards that shit is? They volunteering to play roles in movies and then fucking complain how they not getting paid for the movies that they volunteer for. What? Shit wild as hell. We're not getting paid for the movies that we take on. We're not getting paid. But you got bread to pay for Planned Parenthood though. Yeah. Yeah. You got bread for that, though. Taraji P. Taraji, you got bread to pay multiple thousands of dollars for Planned Parenthood, which is the destruction and genocide of Moorish people. You got bread to pay them, but you complain about the bread that you ain't getting paid for the bullshit movie like Color Purple and all the other movies that emasculate and put man down. Bruh, you make that make sense. How you got multiple thousands of dollars to donate to a machine called Planned Parenthood that was created by Margaret Sanger and the rest of her people and a sellout black caucus that's been out there selling their own people out. You got money to fund that, but you ain't got no money to fund a temple. You ain't got no money to fund nothing else. Like, create a library. You got bread? All right, cool. Build a library in your community then. A law library. Start right there. Because they'll be like, well, what can I do? Okay, you got all this funding. How about build a law library in your community? So anybody that want to come in there, you get a little library card, you pay $1 or $2 for, get a library card, and then now you got a law library access to what you want to study. The system. The system. You got a law library, you can study all that kind of law in there. Because law governs all events. You can study it all while you in that law library. You could be in there studying that. Studying contract law. So how we not going to get finesse no more if we still signing on contracts and the contract comes from the U.S. corporation, which is private for profit, human trafficking purposes. But you sign the contract. And the contract, we don't get taught contract law. So we'll sign a contract like Dave Chappelle was talking about. We sign a contract that got the word in there, perpetuity. Perpetuity, have you looked that word up in the law dictionary? Perpetuity. Look that word up. Blow your mind. That definition, perpetuity. We sign contracts like that and we looking like, man, how did they have all this success? How did they accumulate all this wealth? How did they accumulate all this and they ended up dead broke? Contracts. Perpetuity. Once you sign that contract and you didn't if you voluntarily signed the contract from the U.S. corporation and you didn't read the fine print, you cannot blame nobody but self. Can't blame nobody else. You gotta blame self. Got to. You hire these people like accountants. And you ever thought about it like, how is the person in trouble? The athlete, the actress, the actor, the whoever. How are they going to jail? But they hired an accountant, but the accountant job was to secure the bag. So how is the person that hired the accountant going to jail and not the accountant? Why they ain't going to jail? And I hired them to do their job. So why am I the one going to jail? The system. You see? The system. Recognizing by using discernment, the system. Recognizing another part of the system is accountability. That's a buzzword with our people. Our people and accountability, y'all know like I know. A lot of people, they don't want to eat that. They eat everything else on the plate. They eat all the sides up. They eat the mac and cheese. They eat the rice. They eat the greens. But when it comes to that accountability part of that plate, oh no. They push the plate away. Oh no, I don't want that. I don't push that away. I don't want that part of the meal. Nah, that ain't a part of the meal I want to eat. I don't want to eat that. Hell no. I'm finna give you that shit. Get that shit back to the chef. Get that part of the plate back to the chef. I don't want that. I'm gonna eat this. It's kind of like the veggies. It's kind of like the veggies. You want to eat the chicken, the fish. You want to eat that part. But when it comes to them good old veggies, nah, you don't want the veggies. Nah, you don't want the veggies, the beets, the Brussels sprouts. You don't want to eat that though. You don't want to eat that part, all the good veggies and all. You don't want to eat the herbs and all that. You don't want to eat that. You don't want to eat all that? What you mean? The celery. You don't want to eat the celery, the carrots. You don't want to eat that. Nah, you don't want to do that. See, that's the accountability though. See that accountability though be like, oh, nah. Get back. I'm going to push you back. I don't want no parts of them veggies. That's the accountability though. So, that's the accountability. You know what I'm saying? So, my brother Cujo, he's on here right now. Cujo L's on here right now. Grand Sheik. He say he finna beam out something. So I'm gonna go ahead and give up the microphone, give up the flow. Let him just do his thing. Tune in to my brother Cujo L. He's on here right now. Follow him. All you Moors, you Moorish women out there, you Moorish men out there, man. Much love to all y'all. Don't stop. Keep grinding. It's never gonna stop. Keep grinding. 24 was gonna be an explosive time. Do your best to use your integrity. Keep your integrity. Use your discernment. Be aware of people who have this mentality of victimization and they love pointing the finger about different things and never want to accept. They don't want to eat the vegetables. See, that's the accountability. They don't want to eat the veggies. Nah, they don't want to eat the veggies. They want to eat everything else. Push the veggies off the plate. You feel me? They don't want to eat the veggies. But it's that time now. Better eat them veggies up. You better eat them veggies. Straight up. So I'm going to catch y'all more on the next one though. All right. If you got questions, DM me. All right. I also got classes that's available for you to book. If you want a one-on-one, no problemo. The link is on my page on IG. Click the link. Book a time whenever it's convenient for you. Book your time. One-on-ones available. Classes are available. All right. Reach out. I reach back. All right. Much love to all y'all. All right. Peace and love to all you Moors out there. All y'all Asiatics. All y'all Muslims out there. Do y'all thing out there. Study, 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 man. I self-law and master. Peace, Moors.